The Valerian Empire had ruled the Andromeda sector for 3,000 years. Their warships, massive constructs of dark metal and plasma cores, had subjugated 47 species. Their diplomats spoke with the weight of inevitability, and their emperor sat upon a throne built from the hulls of conquered flagships. When humanity emerged from the Sol system with their crude fusion drives and quaint notions of peaceful coexistence, the Valorians viewed them as they viewed all newcomers, with contempt barely masked by protocol. Theodore Chen stood in the grand chamber of Valoria Prime, Earth's first envoy to the galactic community. At 28, he was young for a diplomat, but his calm demeanor and sharp intellect had earned him this honor. Beside him stood his aide, Paisley Morrison, a xenolinguist whose talent for reading alien body language had proven invaluable during their journey through the stars. "The Valerian Empire welcomes humanity," announced Chancellor Vex Thor, his four mandibles clicking with barely concealed disdain. "We offer you a place in our order. Submit to our governance, and you will know peace." Theodore kept his expression neutral. Months of negotiation had led to this moment. Earth appreciates the Empire's offer. However, we seek partnership, not subordination. Humanity has much to contribute to the galactic community as an independent. The plasma bolt struck him center mass before he could finish. Paisley screamed as Theodore collapsed, the smell of burned flesh filling the chamber. She dropped to her knees beside him, her hands hovering over the wound, knowing it was already too late. His eyes found hers, still conscious for a moment, and he whispered something she couldn't hear over the ringing in her ears. Then Theodore Chun, humanity's hope for a peaceful first contact, died on an alien world, murdered in an act of diplomatic execution. Chancellor Vex Thor holstered his weapon. "Let this be a lesson to all who would question Valerian supremacy. Return to your primitive world, human, and tell them what happens to those who refuse the Empire's generosity." Paisley looked up, tears streaming down her face. But beneath the grief, Vex Thor saw something that gave even him pause. A cold, calculating fury that seemed wholly at odds with the weeping female before him. "You have made," she said quietly, "a grave mistake." The Valorians laughed. 3 months later, the laughter died. The first strike came at the Valerian mining colony of Helix 7. The miners reported strange readings on their sensors, small craft, moving impossibly fast, using gravity wells in ways that defied conventional physics. Before they could raise shields, kinetic missiles traveling at a significant fraction of light speed turned the entire facility into a crater visible from orbit. No warning. No demands. Just obliteration. The second strike destroyed a Valerian patrol fleet near the Kepler Rift. 18 warships, gone in minutes. The few escape pods recovered told stories of ships that moved like nothing they'd ever seen, weapons that bypassed shields entirely, and a ferocity that seemed driven by something beyond military strategy. It seemed personal. By the time the Valerian High Command realized they were at war, humanity had already struck 12 more targets. Theodore's death had done something the Valorians couldn't have anticipated. It had unified humanity like nothing in their history. Every nation, every corporation, every resource of Earth and her colonies bent toward a single purpose: revenge. Paisley Morrison stood on the bridge of the ESS Retribution, humanity's first true warship, built in secret over the past year. Around her, a crew of 500 worked with mechanical precision, their faces grim and determined. "Status report," she commanded. In 3 months, grief had forged her into something harder than diamond. "Valerian flagship detected at the coordinates, ma'am," reported the tactical officer. "The Eternal Glory. Emperor Zaxtull himself is aboard." "Good." Paisley's voice was ice. "Implement protocol, Theodore." The Retribution dropped out of quantum space directly above Valoria Prime, bypassing every defensive perimeter. While the Valorians had spent millennia perfecting plasma weapons and shield technology, humanity had taken a different path. They'd weaponized physics itself. Gravity wells collapsed and expanded in calculated sequences. Quantum entanglement allowed for instantaneous coordination across their fleet. And their missiles, developed from theories that the Valorians had dismissed as impossible, warped space-time itself to reach their targets. The Eternal Glory's shields, designed to repel energy weapons, were useless against kinetic projectiles that existed partially in dimensional space. The flagship shuddered as humanity's vengeance tore through its hull. Emperor Zaxtal's hologram appeared, his regal bearing cracking. "You cannot do this. We are the dominant power. We have ruled for millennia." Paisley leaned forward. "You killed an ambassador, a man who came in peace, who believed that dialogue could bridge species, who wanted nothing more than for humanity to join the stars as equals. Theodore Chen was my friend. He was Earth's hope. One life," Zaxtal roared. "One insignificant life. We have killed billions." "Yes," Paisley said softly. "You have. And that's why this doesn't end with you." The retribution fired again. The eternal glory broke apart, its reactor core cascading in a blue-white explosion that lit up the night sky of Valoria Prime. Across the sector, human ships moved with coordinated precision. Not to conquer. Humanity had learned from observing the Valorians' mistakes. Instead, they systematically dismantled the Empire's military infrastructure, targeting shipyards, weapons platforms, and command centers. Within 6 months, the 3,000-year-old Valorian Empire collapsed. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as humanity, the newcomers with their primitive technology, brought down the dominant power through a combination of unconventional thinking, absolute determination, and the cold fury of a species that protected its own. When the Galactic Council finally convened to address the situation, Paisley stood before them. Older now, hardened by war, but still carrying Theodore's ideals somewhere beneath the armor. "Earth does not seek empire," she told the assembled species. "We never did. Theodore came to you with an open hand, and your answer was murder. We have shown you what happens when you mistake patience for weakness, diplomacy for submission." She paused, letting her words sink in. "Humanity is willing to take its place among the stars, as equals, as partners, but never again as victims. The Valorian Empire killed our envoy. Earth's response has been educational. Let it be the last lesson of its kind that needs teaching." The Council voted unanimously to grant humanity full membership and independent status. That night, Paisley stood alone in her quarters, holding Theodore's diplomatic credentials. "We made it," she whispered. "Not the way you wanted, but we made it." Outside her viewport, Earth hung in the void, a small blue marble that had just announced to the galaxy that humanity would bow to no one, that they would be heard, and that they would remember. Always, they would remember.